Jolt! Hey, let's get ridiculous. Hey, did you guys know that God actually wants you to be ridiculous? That's right, a life following Jesus, we should look ridiculous to everybody else in the world. Today we're starting a new series on this guy named Elisha. Everybody say Elisha.
Elisha.
Yeah, he was a prophet in the Old Testament, meaning like 1,000 years before Jesus comes onto the scene. There's this prophet named Elisha. A prophet is someone that would speak for God, go and tell the people what God says. And Elisha was very powerful. He actually has the most recorded miracles of anybody ever besides Jesus. There's like Jesus and then Elisha and everybody else when it comes to recorded miracles. So this guy's pretty cool. So you would think this guy must have lived a very important life, right? Well, you'd kind of be wrong. Elisha starts out his life as just a very ordinary, normal guy that nobody really thought was very special, wasn't very popular in school, didn't have a whole lot of super abilities, just a normal dude. Now there was this other strong prophet named Elijah. I know their names are so similar, it gets confusing, right? Elijah, and one day Elijah finds Elisha working in the field. They were farmers, he was out in the field plowing, he had these oxen with him and he was plowing, and Elijah comes and puts his cloak on him. Okay, first of all, that's weird, right? Like if I'm at work and somebody just shows up and puts their coat over my head, like that'd be really weird, right? Well, back in ancient Israel in those times, this was a sign, this was a symbol of, hey, you are now under my care. I'm assuming Elisha must have realized who Elijah was. Elijah was older at this point, kind of finishing his, life as a prophet. Elisha was a younger guy. So Elisha immediately is like, sweet, this is ridiculous. And he just runs, he just leaves all of his stuff. He tells Elijah, he says, hey, can I just go and tell my mom and dad bye? And then I'm with you. I got you. Let's do this. Elijah's like, yeah, that's cool. So he actually goes back and slaughters all of his oxen, takes his plow and burns it so he can cook all of that meat from the oxen, which is like some ritual sacrifice stuff. But also he then took that meat and fed all of the people around him. This story is ridiculous. Like the way Elisha starts out his career as a prophet is crazy, right? Like some guy just walks up to him in the field, puts his cloak on him, and he's like, let's do it, I'm out. Kills his oxen, burns his plow, and just leaves everything to go and follow this prophet. He didn't have to go home and think about it. He didn't have to go home and pray about it. He didn't have to go talk to a whole bunch of people about it. He just did it. He didn't try and figure out how this fits into his 5-year plan. He just obeyed. Our big idea today as we start out this series talking about Elisha and the ridiculous faith that Elisha has. You don't have to understand fully to obey immediately. You don't have to understand fully to obey immediately. Too many times we overthink things. We usually know what the right thing to do is. We know what God's calling us to do, to love people, to bring peace to earth. But we don't do it. We don't do it right away. Trust God's plan. Elisha did. So can you.